always count on your mother. Now, I maybe took advantage of my mother. I never appreciated her as much, but she was really fantastic.
Well, it is also said you came out in defense of Mike Tyson, and you came up with these community, and it is said that your mother said, enough, Donald, shut up.
I think that's probably the first time my mother absolutely got angry at me. I really mean that. I mean, my mother was so crazy when I came out in defense of Mike Tyson. And part of the reason I came out in
your
defense...
Mother's, what, 80-something?
My mother's 80 years old,
right.
and part of the reason that...
tough enough to survive a mugging.
She's tough, but she's quality. I mean, more than tough, she's quality.
So she said what?
Well, she didn't exactly like the fact that I was defending Iron Mike, but I watched what happened to Mike Tyson. I watched how badly he was represented by an attorney in Washington that was charging him $3 or $4 or $5 million against a local attorney, the best within 100 miles that the state hired, who just ate the other man's lunch. And I watched the way he did it, and I heard about a girl that late in the evening knocked on his door, was taken in, was raped, perhaps, perhaps not. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Again, I think he was very badly represented. But I did see that, number one, she knocks late in the night. Number two, she's dancing in a beauty contest at 8 in the morning, and I saw the tapes, and I see the big smile on her face, and she's dancing happily at 8 in the morning. And now Mike Tyson's in jail for 4 or 5 or 6 years. I had a real problem with that case. I had a real problem with Mike Tyson's lawyers. I had a real problem with Don King. I just think that he was really fed out to the wolves.
But if, in fact, he raped her in that hotel room, regardless of whether she came there, you think that he should have been convicted and should have gone to the slammer?
He to this day denies it. I don't know that it happened, and I think that, as they said, if he didn't testify, he would have been exonerated totally. The jury said that. Mike was arrogant. He was a horrible witness from what I understand, and I'm not surprised. I mean, I would say that generally speaking, you don't put Mike on as a witness, but he was a horrible witness. And to get 4 or 5 or 6 years, I think that there was just too many circumstances. Again, she was in a beauty contest, and she was dancing with a big smile on her face at 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but the jury sat there and they listened to her, too. They had an opportunity to hear her and test her credibility as they heard it, and also to face questioning. This guy's not a bad lawyer. He may have handled his case bad, but he is the same man that represented John Hinckley and others and had an extraordinary reputation in a very good Washington firm.
I watched Mike, and I've been with Mike, and I've seen him, and people really take advantage of this man. And I want to tell you something. I think this is one of those examples. Now, I know we have a system of juries, and I know we have a system where if you're found guilty, you're guilty. But somebody like me, maybe who has a little bit more independent streak, can say, hey, Mike Tyson, in my opinion, should really be given another break. I mean, they put him in jail before he was even guilty, as far as I was concerned.
Do you believe he'll... Saying, that, therefore, it makes sense for you to promote this notion. I mean, look at this picture here. I mean, you like this.
Isn't he a handsome
man? You like this, don't you?
No, I don't
really.
But
is it good for you to promote that because it says Donald is back and all of this stuff about scrambles off the canvas, in a sense, is good for business, so therefore you're promoting that image. You want people to believe that you're back.
I mean, as an example, it's late in the evening right now. It's not that you're a fantastic guy, and we did this down in New Orleans, but in New Orleans it was during the afternoon. It was really much more pleasant. Right now it's late in the evening, and here we are doing an interview.
Yeah, right.
It happens
and a heck of an interview it is.
I hope we're going to have a good time. I mean, I hope you get good ratings, too.
I do, too.
Anything for you, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. So let me talk about people you ought to say sorry to, if there might be. One is, and I'm talking to one, I raised this person first, that guy in Philadelphia, you know, who they say you got fired. You remember the guy who did the stock analysis?
I say so. He did great. I mean, he came out, he did well, and now he's my biggest champion.
Okay, but
he's the one.
But you got him fired. You can't. You got to look back.
I can't help that his firm fired him. If they
oh no, come on. Did they fire him because of a call from you?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Really, I have no idea.
But don't you have any regret for that? I mean, but don't you regret that? I mean, you don't need to.
I don't regret it.
Get this guy lose his job?
No, because that's life. You can't look back. I don't look back.
No regrets then? I mean, there's no one that you'd say now.
If I had it to do again, would I have done things differently? Yes.
What would you have done differently?
I probably, instead of stopping with the sale of the St. Moritz, where I sold and I made a lot of money, I probably would have sold some other things.
And that
I think I would have treated people differently. I think that, you know, some of the people that were most loyal to me are people that I didn't think would be. Some of the people that were least loyal to me are people that I think I would have treated them differently. I think I would have treated different groups differently. I would have wiped the floor with the guys that weren't loyal, which I will now do, which is great. You know, I love getting even with people, but I will. I would have wiped.
You love getting even.
Oh, absolutely. You don't believe in the eye for the eye. You do.
No.
I know you well enough. I think you do. But anyway, but
tell me, I mean, you're going to get even with some people.
Yeah, I know. If given the opportunity, I will get even with some people that were disloyal to me. I mean, I had a group of people that were disloyal.
But how do you define disloyalty?
They didn't come to my aid.
Well, what did they do? They turned their back on you?
No, but they didn't do small things that would have helped. They didn't do larger
things. Give me one
example. Well, when I heard about it, I went nuts, and I blasted him, and all of a sudden he left.
Yeah, but how can you get even with Andy Stein? I mean, this guy's...
It's not a question of getting even. I can certainly be disappointed in certain people, and I was very disappointed.
Yeah, but you've already said an eye for an eye. I mean, he hits you, you're going to hit him back.
Well, I might.
Yeah, but
we'll
how
see.
could you hit him back?
We'll see. Hey, time will tell, I guess, right?
Yeah, are you looking for the opportunity?
No, I'm not looking. I'm just really so disappointed in him. I'm disappointed in other people. And I was disappointed in this one man that didn't want to get off the board. Now, he got off.
Okay, but he got off. So, I mean,
no, he got off. He got off after being hit over the head with a cannon, okay?
What was the cannon?
The cannon was me. And he ended up...
What was the threat, though? I mean, did you blast him in the paper and that was enough? Or did you say...
The threat was just sort of a strong threat. I mean, he would have gone through a lot of hell if he didn't get off.
So what is the most important thing to a guy like you?
I think the way I've survived, the quality in which I've lived under the survival mode, the image I've portrayed during the survival period. I mean, people haven't seen me go into a corner and put my thumb in my mouth and say, I give up, I give up. I mean, this kid doesn't give up. And some people did give up, I have to tell you, Charlie. And you know, you're not going to be doing interviews with them. But some people did give up. Many people gave up. And many tough, smart killers gave up. They just gave up. They said, I can't do it anymore. So I think the way in which I survived was very important to me.